So they just released the Epstein files, and before we take a look at them, they did say that they would be redacting the victims' names to protect their identities, which is completely understandable. So let's check them out. Oh, well, damn, I didn't know the victims' names were that long. Hello, my friends, and today we're going to be looking at some of the funniest bloopers in politics.
They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see, at least in my lifetime, anybody face true justice regarding the Epstein files. But the longer they draw that out, the more likely the US is going to have one of those Gen Z protests. But for today, since we can't punish the political elite, we're going to laugh at them. And who better than to start a video regarding political bloopers on than Bush? If you're in your 20s, ask any one of your parents their favorite Bushism, and I guarantee you they have one just locked in the chamber. Personally, for my mother, it was the fact that Bush just could not pronounce nuclear.
And since then, it's increased its nuclear arsenal.
Suzanne, it's nuclear arsenal.
And probably one that you've seen, it's the one that's been cut with 9/11 so many goddamn times, is Bush saying, now watch this drive.
We must stop the terror. I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
That clip wasn't immediately after 9/11, it was in 2002 after a series of terrorist attacks in Israel, and Bush was just golfing in Maine, and reporters were asking him these serious questions, and instead of just staying on topic of being asked serious questions, he just went back to his leisurely activities. There's the one back in 2005 when Bush was at a meeting in Beijing, and he walked off camera to go and open the door to leave, but the door didn't open, so he tried the other door and it didn't open either because it was locked.
Thank you all very much.
And then he just stood there like an NPC. And then in 2008, there was the incident where an Iraqi journalist threw his shoes at George Bush. Fucking Bush had some moves on him. He watched dodgeball. If you could dodge an Iraqi journalist's shoes, then you could dodge allegations of being behind 9/11. From what I read, the shoes were actually destroyed because U.S. and Iraqi forces were worried that they were going to become a symbol. And I think they did for a bit. I think there was a gigantic sculpture of a shoe constructed at like some Iraqi orphanage. Yeah, the Iraqi people didn't really take too kindly to George Bush. I'm fucking gonna only guess why. Because we invaded Iraq for 9/11, which is something the Saudis did. And we said it was for combating terrorism. No, it was for control of the world's oil reserves, which if you look at what's going on in Venezuela right now, it's kind of funny that history is repeating itself. Yeah, Venezuela is by all accounts run by the cartel because Maduro is an ex-cartel boss. You're never really out of that. They're getting a little cozy to China, and now we're worried about them putting nukes. So they do have a little bit of a reason beyond oil reserves for going there. And we are very close with Guyana, and Guyana just discovered that they have a massive oil reserve, and Venezuela is claiming that it's theirs, and they want to take over that oil reserve and a huge portion of Guyana, and probably all of it. So in regards to that situation, we do have a little bit better of a reason this time for going there, but make no mistake, it is for controlling a huge section of the world's oil reserves. And we're going to end this George Bush section with one of my favorite Bushisms, and it's his "fool me once" speech.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
And there's so many Bushisms. Every time a camera was in front of the man, he fucked up in some way and said something stupid. But he did have the ability to notice that he fucked up and make fun of himself, so get a little bit of brownie points in my eyes. You know what? All forgiven for Rick. But he was a funny guy. You know what? I'll play a little compilation that I could put together of some of the best Bushisms that I could find.
Our enemies are innovative and resourceful, and so are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we. It was not always a given that the United States and America would have a close relationship for this country, and the people of Bulgaria ought to be proud of the achievements that they have achieved. Thank you, Rolling. That's awesome speech. The fact that they purchased the machine meant somebody had to make the machine. And so when somebody makes a machine, it means there's jobs at the machine-making place. These immigrants have helped transform 13 small colonies into a great and growing nation of more than 300 people. I oppose breaching those dams. I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Kind of funny that I just burped there. That's a little bit of foreshadowing. At the time of this clip, Kay Ivey was the governor of Alabama. And first off, I just have to say, the Alabama accent, Oh, and in this clip, she has a very human moment.
We're getting a slight increase in the number of doses that we'll be getting to the state.
Every time that comes up on my feed, I can't stop laughing. No matter how many times I watch it, I laugh my ass off. It's the deep guttural burp, the shape her face makes, the excuse me, and then just fucking moves on from it. You can hear the southern accent in the burp. I love it. That's one of my favorite political bloopers ever. And now we're on Boris Johnson, and every time a camera's put in front of his face, like a Victorian-era demon just takes over his body.
To plan a NATO summit, and that's a fairly large multitasking.
I love AI. Do you use AI? Absolutely. Do you use ChatGPT? Do you love ChatGPT? I love ChatGPT. I love it. ChatGPT is fantastic.
And hasta la vista, baby. Thank you.
My favorite moment of his has to be when he just insults this entire assembly in the most British way possible.
Because the assembly members have decided they have no questions to put to you.
Are you saying they're abdicating their duty to scrutinise me? Are you saying they haven't the guts to put questions to me?
What
Great
is it?
supine protoplasmic invertebrate jellies.
Boris Johnson, by all accounts, was just British Trump. Now this next one is from some unnamed African politician. I'm not able to find out who or where this is from. But he gives one of the most bulletproof defenses for corruption I've ever heard. If I were a citizen in that country, he's got my vote.
Corruption is not bad. Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved.
Yes.
But if I'm part of that corruption, I'll defend it.
Now with Biden, I don't want to pick on the senile and elderly, but it was clear in his presidency that he had some form of either dementia or Alzheimer's, and the right was very quick to pointing this out, and anybody I knew on the left was just fucking... Because during that election, anybody that voted for Biden didn't vote for Biden because they genuinely liked him. They voted because they just really hated Trump, which I understand and I get, but they had so many other options other than Biden. So I do understand where a lot of people on the right come from when they say that the election was stolen, because how the fuck was Biden the most popular president ever elected in US history? It doesn't make sense. But the hatred against Trump must have really been that strong in 2020 to vote for a senile man, but not strong enough, I guess, in 2024 to vote for a black woman. So yeah, when you look at it, the numbers, they do look funny. That's not me saying I support January 6th, I'm just saying I understand. I do also have to point out that every single election cycle, the losing side always accuses the other side of election interference. Fucking Hillary did that against Trump when Trump won. Trump infamously did it against Biden. And there is a lot of people on the left now saying that Trump stole the election this time around. And you could go back to like every single election cycle, and it was there in some capacity. It's just 2020 is just a little... If you think every election's stolen, you're an idiot. And if you think every election is bulletproof and there's no fraud that goes on, you're naive. Done with my little rant. Just gonna wrap it up with, your vote doesn't matter. There really is no two parties. You're given the illusion of choice. Don't vote. Reject the system. Embrace nihilism. Become a libertarian. I just can't get over all the times that Biden would be in the middle of a speech and would just cease all cognitive function.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. Women are not without electoral and or political, or maybe precise, not and or political power. It had to put on their windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And I want to thank all of you here for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
The woman Jackie was a Republican congresswoman that died. And then he would just turn into a Roomba and just walk about the room. Kind of cute and endearing and innocent. You ever go to a nursing home? It's just a daycare full of 5-foot wrinkly old babies. And now we're on the Trump, and oh boy, he had a lot of moments. It could be its own video entirely. So could Bush's.
Of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let him in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person?
A little relief as we are covering all this serious news. You see a Marine alongside Marine One lost his cap. The president goes to help put it back in. It falls off again as he pats him on the side. He goes and he grabs it again. It's so windy, obviously, from the helicopter.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. No, get those lights off! Off!
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead.
I have a great relationship with the blacks. I've always had a great relationship with the blacks.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him.
This is a tough hurricane. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
A lot of people like to say that Trump is the reason why there's so much political discourse today. He definitely amplified it, but I think he was actually a symptom of a problem that was already starting to brew. But one of my favorite ones with him had to be, and it just actually felt like a scene from The Office.
Getting a good picture of everybody, so we look nice and handsome and thin.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
It's just the pan away from him and it looks back to him, and the look he's giving him just kills me every time. That's it for this video, and there's a plethora more of political goofs, gaffes, and bloopers, especially with other countries, so this is probably a series that I'll revisit every once in a while. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day for watching. Love you guys.